Hey, everybody. This episode of Our Kids Play Hockey is brought to you by our title sponsor, NHL Sense Arena. Look, we all want our kids to succeed in hockey, but let's face it, finding training that's both effective and enjoyable can be a real challenge, and not to mention expensive and a total drain on time, especially if you have to drive to the rink, pay a private instructor. There's so many reasons that money gets spent on this game. But that's where NHL Sense Arena steps in. It's a virtual reality training game that brings the rink into your home that takes off-ice training to a new reality. It's designed to improve hockey sense and IQ, something that's lacking majorly in the game today for both players and goalies. And you get unlimited access to over 100 drills and training plans from top coaches and players that can be played anytime, anywhere, with drills approved by USA Hockey player and goalie development directors. Look, improving mental hockey skills at home has really never been more fun, and any hockey player that uses this is going to have a blast. All right. I've used this before on my own, and it feels like you're so immersed in an arena, you sometimes forget you have a headset on. And again, it's not being on the ice, but it allows you to work on some of these skill sets like scanning, as I said before, hockey IQ, looking around the rink, making the right plays, that getting those repetitions in now as a hockey player are super important for your development. So NHL Sense Arena is giving all the listeners an exclusive offer for $50 off an annual plan when you use our code Hockey Never Stops at checkout. Again, that's Hockey Never Stops. All you got to do is go to hockey.sensearena.com. Again, that's hockey.sensearena.com. Use the code Hockey Never Stops, and you'll save $50 on your annual plan of NHL Sense Arena. Make sure to check that out and enjoy this episode of Our Kids Play Hockey. Hello, hockey goalies and skaters around the world, and welcome to another edition of the Ride to the Rink. Today, we've got an NHL player development coach talking directly to you. His name is Sumeet Wareh, and he's going to talk to you a little bit about what he wished he knew when he was a young kid. Again, this is before all his work with NHL players. He's also going to give you an actionable item that you should start to do immediately to help you get some more identity and identify in the game where your success could be, where you need to work on, and how and why to do that. So here it is, Sumeet Wareh talking to you right now on Ride to the Rink.
Yeah, like as a young player, like I put myself back into time, and if I knew some of the things that I knew now, like I would really focus on putting my time and energy into understanding what type of player I am, understanding my skill set at 11 or 12 years old, and even at 13, like going into prior to the WHL draft, and understanding what you're really good at, and then finding somebody that can help you and support you throughout your path to the Western Hockey League or college, and help you identify what areas you need to improve on during the season, and then have a plan at the end of the season and nail down those skill aspects where you can be an impactful player at the WHL level. And then eventually, if you reach that WHL level or the junior level, you might have a chance to hit a draft list. And you'd be surprised how many players that I've coached that were at the younger ages that hit a draft list. And then from there, you get drafted, and from there you have a chance to actually make it. And I think that at a young age, I think you should really believe that you can make it. There's been a lot of players that have came out of Western Canada that I don't think they would have thought they would have made it. And I think that we really need to keep that dream alive as a young player. And if you do the work, and I'd love to be that person to support you there. I really think that I can support a player that wants to become an NHL player. I think that I do enough research to help an athlete get to that level. And so I really want to communicate that, because I think there's a big stigma out there saying that it's less than 1% that's going to make it to the NHL. But I believe that there is that 1%, and I consider myself that 1% that's going to believe in you to get there, and I'm going to help you get there. So yeah. I think that's something I just passionately want to say.
I'm so in agreement with you. I will never tell anyone that they can't make it. If you have that dream, you should pursue the dream. But I do want to ask you, is for that player that's listening right now that has that dream. Is there an actionable item with what you just said about kind of discovering what you're good at or not good at that they can do at home to kind of start that process? So if you say to them, hey, let's discover what you're good or not good at, or what you excel at, what is something I can do? What is the starting point for that as me as a player to get going on that journey?
I think after every game, write some things down as to where you had those situations in a game. So I would actually go back a little bit with that question. I would track my puck touches during a game and try to find some patterns.
Mm.
And so when you see some patterns, which you will, in situations that you feel like you've encountered a lot, try to work on those situations in practice, before practice or after practice or during your drills. I think that's where you can maximize your practice throughout the season and develop an area that you might not have realized. I think that's a very technical, on the point answer.
I agree. But it's a good answer. And again, see, that's something I wish I had known as a kid too, to do exactly what you just said. All right, that's it for this edition of the Ride to the Rink. You were hearing from Sumeet Wareh of Lab 9 Player Development. Make sure to check him out, and make sure to check out all of the Ride to the Rink episodes only on the Our Kids Play Hockey Network. Thank you so much for listening. Wishing you the best this week wherever you're playing. Just remember to skate on.